In the boundless cosmos, where stars shimmered like beacons of hope, humanity arose as a formidable presence. Millennia of gazing at the heavens had fueled their dreams of exploration and conquest. Now, in an era of unparalleled technological advancement, they stood prepared to claim their role among the stars. Originating from a humble blue planet in the Milky Way known as Earth, humans harbored an insatiable urge to transcend their boundaries. With curiosity as their compass and innovation as their fuel, they embarked on a grand journey of discovery, crafting mighty vessels to navigate the cosmic expanses. Encountering diverse inhabitants of the galaxy, humans sought companionship and cooperation while facing formidable adversaries. The apex predators. Resourceful and resolute, they united with allies to challenge the predators through diplomacy and intellect, forging an unprecedented coalition to tilt the scales of power. The saga of humanity's struggle against these cosmic titans unfolds, showcasing their resilience, unity, and unwavering determination amidst the vastness of the universe. The rise of humanity. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where stars twinkled like distant beacons of hope, humanity emerged as a force to be reckoned with. For millennia, they had looked up at the stars dreaming of exploration and conquest, and now, in an age where technology had reached unparalleled heights, they were ready to take their place among the stars. It all began on a small blue planet orbiting an unassuming star in the outer reaches of the Milky Way. Earth, as it was called, had been home to humanity for countless generations. But as their knowledge and ambition grew, so too did their desire to reach beyond the confines of their world. Driven by curiosity and fueled by innovation, humans embarked on a journey of discovery. They built great vessels capable of traversing the vast distances of space, venturing further and further from their home planet with each passing year. But as they ventured into the unknown, humanity soon encountered other beings that called the galaxy home. Some were peaceful, willing to share knowledge and resources with their newfound neighbors. Others, however, saw humanity as nothing more than a threat to their dominance. Among the most formidable of these beings were the apex predators of the galaxy, creatures of immense power and ferocity, capable of instilling fear in even the bravest of hearts. For centuries, these creatures had ruled the galaxy uncontested, their reign unchallenged by any other species. But humanity was different. They were resourceful, adaptable, and above all, determined. And so, they set about conquering the apex predators of the galaxy, not with brute force, but with cunning and ingenuity. Through diplomacy and alliance building, humans forged alliances with other species who shared their desire to see the apex predators dethroned. Together, they formed a coalition unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, pooling their resources and knowledge to combat this common threat. And slowly but surely, they began to chip away at the predators' dominance, pushing them back further and further until, at last, they stood on the brink of victory. But the battle was far from over. The apex predators were not so easily defeated, and they would not go down without a fight. In the chapters to come, the story of humanity's struggle against these formidable foes will unfold, revealing the triumphs, the sacrifices, and the enduring spirit that propelled them to victory. The rise of humanity. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where stars twinkled like distant beacons of hope, humanity emerged as a force to be reckoned with. For millennia, they had looked up at the stars dreaming of exploration and conquest, and now, in an age where technology had reached unparalleled heights, they were ready to take their place among the stars. It all began on a small blue planet orbiting an unassuming star in the outer reaches of the Milky Way. Earth, as it was called, had been home to humanity for countless generations. But as their knowledge and ambition grew, so too did their desire to reach beyond the confines of their world. Driven by curiosity and fueled by innovation, humans embarked on a journey of discovery. They built great vessels capable of traversing the vast distances of space, venturing further and further from their home planet with each passing year. But as they ventured into the unknown, humanity soon encountered other beings that called the galaxy home. Some were peaceful, willing to share knowledge and resources with their newfound neighbors. Others, however, saw humanity as nothing more than a threat to their dominance. Among the most formidable of these beings were the apex predators of the galaxy, creatures of immense power and ferocity, capable of instilling fear in even the bravest of hearts. For centuries, these creatures had ruled the galaxy uncontested, their reign unchallenged by any other species. But humanity was different. They were resourceful, adaptable, and above all, determined. And so, they set about conquering the apex predators of the galaxy, not with brute force, but with cunning and ingenuity. Through diplomacy and alliance building, humans forged alliances with other species who shared their desire to see the apex predators dethroned. Together, they formed a coalition unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, pooling their resources and knowledge to combat this common threat. And slowly but surely, they began to chip away at the predators' dominance, pushing them back further and further until, at last, they stood on the brink of victory. But the battle was far from over. The apex predators were not so easily defeated, and they would not go down without a fight. In the chapters to come, the story of humanity's struggle against these formidable foes will unfold, revealing the triumphs, the sacrifices, and the enduring spirit that propelled them to victory, unveiling the shadows. As humanity stood on the cusp of victory against the apex predators of the galaxy, a new challenge emerged from the depths of space, a shadowy threat that lurked in the darkest corners of the cosmos. It began with reports of strange disappearances and mysterious attacks on outlying colonies. Entire populations vanished without a trace, leaving behind only whispers of fear and uncertainty. At first, many dismissed these tales as nothing more than wild speculation, but as the evidence mounted, it became clear that something sinister was at play. Rumors began to spread of a new adversary, one that struck from the shadows with ruthless efficiency. They were known only as the Voidborn, a shadowy race of beings with technology far beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. Desperate to uncover the truth behind these mysterious disappearances, humanity launched a series of expeditions into the darkest reaches of space. What they discovered sent shockwaves through the galaxy. An ancient race of beings, long thought to be nothing more than myth, had returned from the depths of space to reclaim their rightful place among the stars. The Voidborn were unlike anything humanity had ever faced. Their ships were sleek and black as the void itself, blending seamlessly into the darkness of space. Their weapons were powerful enough to tear through the strongest defenses with ease, leaving destruction in their wake. But perhaps most terrifying of all was their ability to manipulate the very fabric of space itself, bending it to their will in ways that defied comprehension. With each passing day, their influence spread further, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty over the galaxy. Humanity realized that they faced a threat unlike any they had encountered before, one that could not be defeated through sheer force of arms alone. They would need to rely on their wits, their courage, and their unyielding determination if they were to stand any chance of overcoming this new adversary. And so, as the shadows closed in around them, humanity prepared to face their greatest challenge yet. In the chapters to come, the true extent of the Voidborn threat will be revealed, as humanity fights for survival against an enemy that seeks to plunge the galaxy into darkness, the gathering storm. As the Voidborn threat loomed ever larger on the horizon, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The galaxy, once a place of wonder and exploration, had become a battleground where the forces of light and darkness clashed in a struggle for dominance. In the heart of the galactic core, where the stars burned brightest and the void was darkest, a council of the most influential civilizations convened to address the growing crisis. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy gathered to discuss strategies for combating the Voidborn menace and ensuring the survival of their species. It was a gathering unlike any other, as ancient rivals set aside their differences in the face of a common threat. Diplomats, scientists, and military leaders from all walks of life came together, each bringing their own unique perspective to the table. But even as they debated, the shadow of the Voidborn loomed ever larger, casting a pall over their proceedings. It was clear to all present that time was running out, and that decisive action would be needed if they were to have any hope of stopping the advance of the darkness. And so, after days of heated debate and intense negotiations, a plan began to take shape. A plan that would require sacrifices from every corner of the galaxy, but one that offered the best hope of survival in the face of overwhelming odds. The first step would be to fortify their defenses along the outer rim of the galaxy, creating a barrier against the encroaching darkness. Outposts were established on distant planets, manned by brave soldiers who stood ready to defend against any incursion. At the same time, efforts were made to gather intelligence on the Voidborn, to learn their weaknesses, their tactics, and, if possible, their motives. Scout ships were dispatched to the farthest reaches of space, their crews risking life and limb in search of answers. But perhaps most importantly of all, humanity and its allies began to reach out to other civilizations who had yet to join the fight. Diplomats were sent to distant worlds, offering assistance and support to those who were willing to stand with them against the darkness. And so, as the galaxy braced itself for the coming storm, a flicker of hope remained. A hope that in the face of overwhelming darkness, the light of unity and determination would shine brightest of all. The battle for unity. As the Galactic Coalition worked tirelessly to prepare for the looming threat of the Voidborn, tensions began to rise among its members. Old rivalries and grievances bubbled to the surface, threatening to tear apart the fragile alliance that had been forged in the face of adversity. Distrust simmered between species who had long been at odds, each viewing the other with suspicion and apprehension. Miscommunications and misunderstandings only served to exacerbate the growing rifts, as fear and uncertainty spread like wildfire through the ranks of the coalition. Realizing that disunity would be their downfall, humanity and its allies knew that they must find a way to bridge the divide and unite the disparate factions under a common cause. But achieving such unity would prove to be no easy task, as centuries of animosity and mistrust threatened to undermine their efforts at every turn. And so, diplomats and mediators were dispatched to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, tasked with the seemingly impossible mission of forging bonds of trust and cooperation among the warring factions. It was a daunting challenge, but one that they knew was essential if they were to have any hope of standing against the darkness that loomed on the horizon. Slowly but surely, progress was made. Through patience, understanding, and a willingness to set aside old grievances, barriers began to crumble and bridges began to be built. Bonds of friendship and mutual respect formed between species who had once been bitter enemies, as they came to realize that their survival depended on their ability to stand together as one. But even as unity began to take hold, the spectre of doubt still lingered in the hearts and minds of many. Could they truly trust their former enemies to stand by their side in the darkest hour? Or would old rivalries resurface at the worst possible moment, shattering their fragile alliance and dooming them to defeat? Only time would tell. But for now, as the coalition prepared to face the greatest challenge in its history, there was a glimmer of hope. A hope born from the belief that in the face of overwhelming darkness, unity and solidarity would be their greatest weapons, the veil of darkness. As the Galactic Coalition continued to fortify its defenses and foster unity among its members, the shadow of the Voidborn grew ever darker, casting a pall over the galaxy. Reports of their attacks became more frequent, their raids more brazen, as they struck with merciless precision at the heart of civilization. Entire planets fell silent as the Voidborn descended upon them, leaving nothing but destruction and despair in their wake. Their ships moved silently through the void, striking without warning before vanishing back into the darkness from whence they came. Humanity and its allies fought valiantly to repel the invaders, but it soon became clear that they were facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. The Voidborn were cunning and elusive, their tactics constantly evolving as they sought to outmaneuver and outwit their adversaries at every turn. But even as the galaxy teetered on the brink of despair, a glimmer of hope remained. In the darkest corners of space, whispers began to spread of a legendary artifact, a weapon of untold power said to be capable of turning the tide of the war in humanity's favor. Known only as the Spear of Light, this ancient relic was said to have been forged in the fires of creation itself, imbued with the power to banish darkness and bring hope to those who wielded it. But its whereabouts had long been lost to the annals of time, its existence relegated to little more than myth and legend. Undeterred by the odds stacked against them, a brave band of adventurers set out on a quest to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Spear of Light. Their journey would take them to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, through perilous star systems and treacherous asteroid fields, as they sought to unlock the secrets of this ancient artifact before it was too late. But little did they know that they were not the only ones in search of the spear. For in the depths of space, hidden from prying eyes, the Voidborn watched and waited, their sinister schemes unfolding as they sought to claim the weapon for themselves and plunge the galaxy into eternal darkness. The quest unfolds. As the galaxy trembled under the relentless assault of the Voidborn, the brave adventurers embarked on their perilous quest to uncover the fabled Spear of Light. Their journey took them across vast expanses of space, through ancient ruins and forgotten worlds, as they followed the faint whispers of legend in search of the artifact that could turn the tide of the war. Each step of their journey was fraught with danger, as they faced deadly traps, cunning adversaries, and the ever-present threat of the Voidborn lurking in the shadows. But fueled by courage and determination, they pressed on, driven by the belief that the fate of the galaxy rested in their hands. Their quest led them to the furthest reaches of the galaxy, to a remote corner of space where few dared to tread. There, hidden beneath the surface of a desolate moon, they discovered the entrance to an ancient temple, a temple said to house the key to unlocking the power of the Spear of Light. But the journey was far from over. As they delved deeper into the temple's labyrinthine corridors, they encountered ancient guardians, remnants of a time long past, determined to protect the artifact at all costs. Each trial tested their strength, their wit, and their resolve, pushing them to the brink of their abilities as they fought to overcome the obstacles in their path. But as they drew closer to their goal, the true extent of the Voidborn's influence became clear. The temple itself seemed to come alive, its walls shifting and changing before their eyes as they struggled to navigate its treacherous depths. And lurking in the shadows, the agents of the Voidborn waited, ready to strike at the first sign of weakness. But the adventurers refused to be deterred. With the fate of the galaxy hanging in the balance, they pressed on, their determination unwavering as they faced each new challenge head-on. For they knew that the Spear of Light held the power to defeat the darkness that threatened to consume them all, and they would stop at nothing to claim it for themselves. The Trial of Light. As the brave adventurers delved deeper into the ancient temple, they encountered trials unlike any they had faced before. Each chamber they entered presented a new challenge, testing not only their strength and skill, but also their courage and resolve. In the heart of the temple they came upon a chamber bathed in ethereal light, its walls adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes of cosmic battles and celestial beings. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested a single shimmering orb, the key to unlocking the power of the Spear of Light. But claiming the orb would not be easy. Surrounding it were a series of intricate puzzles, each more complex than the last, designed to test the wisdom and ingenuity of those who sought to claim the artifact. Only by solving these puzzles could they unlock the true power of the orb, and gain access to the Spear of Light itself. For days the adventurers toiled tirelessly, their minds sharpened by the challenge before them. They pored over ancient texts and deciphered cryptic symbols, piecing together the clues that would lead them to victory. And slowly but surely the mysteries of the chamber began to unfold before their eyes. But even as they neared the end of their trial, the agents of the Voidborn lurked in the shadows, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Their presence cast a shadow of doubt over the adventurers' efforts, as they wondered whether they would be able to claim the artifact before it was too late. But in the end, it was their unwavering determination and indomitable spirit that saw them through. With a final burst of inspiration, they solved the last puzzle and claimed the orb as their own, its radiant light illuminating the chamber in a dazzling display of power. With the orb in hand, the adventurers knew that their quest was far from over. The true test still lay ahead, to wield the power of the Spear of Light against the darkness that threatened to engulf the galaxy. But as they stood together, united in purpose and resolve, they knew that no challenge was too great to overcome. For they were the champions of light, and with the power of the spear at their side, they would face whatever lay ahead with courage and conviction. The final stand, Armed with the power of the orb and the knowledge of its true purpose, the adventurers prepared to make their final stand against the encroaching darkness. They emerged from the ancient temple, their spirits high and their resolve unshakable, ready to face whatever awaited them on the battlefield. As they journeyed back to the heart of the Galactic Coalition, they were met with a scene of chaos and despair. The Voidborn had launched a full-scale assault on the Outer Rim, their forces overwhelming the defenses of even the strongest outposts. Entire worlds lay in ruins, their populations decimated by the relentless advance of the enemy. But amidst the devastation, a glimmer of hope remained. The arrival of the adventurers, bearing the power of the orb, inspired courage and determination in the hearts of those who had lost hope. They rallied to their cause, standing shoulder to shoulder with humanity and its allies, as they prepared to face the Voidborn in one final epic battle. The stage was set for the ultimate showdown, a clash of light against darkness, of hope against despair. Across the galaxy, fleets assembled and armies gathered, their weapons primed and their resolve unwavering, as they prepared to meet the enemy head-on. And then, the Voidborn descended upon them like a storm, their ships blotting out the stars as they swept through the void with terrifying speed and precision. But humanity and its allies stood firm, their defenses bolstered by the power of the orb and the determination of those who fought alongside them. The battle raged on for days, each side unleashing the full fury of their arsenal in a desperate bid for victory. Countless lives were lost, entire fleets were decimated, but still, the defenders held their ground, refusing to yield to the darkness that sought to consume them. And then, in a blinding flash of light, the Spear of Light was unleashed. Guided by the hands of the adventurers, its power surged forth, striking at the heart of the Voidborn fleet with unstoppable force. The darkness recoiled in agony, its ranks shattered and broken as the light of the spear pierced through its ranks. With a final triumphant cry, humanity and its allies pressed their advantage, driving the enemy back with renewed vigor and determination. And as the last remnants of the Voidborn fleet scattered into the void, the galaxy erupted into cheers of victory, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that they had triumphed against impossible odds. But even as they celebrated their hard-fought victory, the adventurers knew that their work was far from over. For the darkness that lurked in the depths of space would always seek to rise again, and they would need to remain vigilant if they were to ensure that the light of hope continued to shine brightly in the galaxy. A new dawn. With the defeat of the Voidborn and the restoration of peace to the galaxy, humanity and its allies stood on the brink of a new era. The scars of war still lingered, but amidst the ruins of devastation, a new sense of hope began to blossom, a hope for a future free from the shadow of darkness. In the aftermath of the conflict, the Galactic Coalition turned its attention towards rebuilding what had been lost. Planets ravaged by war were restored to their former glory, their populations returning to rebuild their shattered homes and communities. And as the scars of battle began to fade, new alliances were forged, and old rivalries set aside as the galaxy came together in a spirit of unity and cooperation. But even as they looked towards the future, the adventurers knew that their journey was far from over, for the power of the Spear of Light still remained, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. With its guidance, they embarked on a new quest, to spread the light of peace and prosperity to every corner of the galaxy, to ensure that the lessons learned from their struggle against the Voidborn would never be forgotten. And so, as they set out once more into the vast expanse of space, the adventurers knew that they carried with them the hopes and dreams of all those who had fought and sacrificed for the cause of freedom. Theirs was a journey of discovery and exploration, of adventure and excitement, as they charted a course towards a future filled with endless possibilities. As they ventured into the unknown, they were joined by countless others, explorers, scientists, diplomats, and warriors, all united in their quest to build a brighter tomorrow. Together, they would explore new worlds, uncover ancient mysteries, and forge new alliances, as they worked to ensure that the galaxy remained a place of peace and prosperity for generations to come. And so, as the sun rose on a new day in the galaxy, humanity and its allies stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. secure in the knowledge that as long as the light of hope burned bright in their hearts, they would never falter in their quest for a better tomorrow.